It's one of the most vulnerable moments in Beth Law's life. The 61-year-old has experienced terrible things. So terrible that she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. No conventional therapy could help. Her last hope? A specialized clinic in Jamaica. Under supervision, patients are given increasing doses of psychedelic mushrooms. And after months of discussions, Beth agreed to let us document her treatment.
I'm just ready to let that person retire, move on. It doesn't belong to the Army. It doesn't belong to my mother or my father. It doesn't belong to my husband. He can share it with me, but it's my journey.
When you ask Beth what she's been through, she hardly knows where to start. Her life story, a series of misfortunes. Her father was an alcoholic. Her stepfather abused her mother. She joined the U.S. Army early on, numerous missions in Iraq. She is raped several times by other U.S. soldiers, yet she perseveres. In the end, she is a highly decorated soldier who is regularly invited to the White House. And at the age of 51, she developed lung cancer. The prognosis at the time was that she had 2 years left to live. Instead of supporting her, the Army fired her. America doesn't always celebrate its heroes. Sometimes it drops them when they're no longer useful.
I'm really pissed off at the Army because I left after 34 years of service without any retirement recognition, awards, departing ceremony, farewell, say goodbye to people. The military discharged me medically, and I was basically sent home to die. Just to kind of check inside.
Beth was able to beat her cancer. The post-traumatic stress disorder, however, she could not. After numerous conventional therapies failed, she came across MycoMeditations, a company that has been treating trauma with psychedelic mushrooms in Jamaica for years. Patients come here for a week and receive 3 staggered doses. Concentration increases as the days go by. Trained specialists called mycotherapists supervise the process. Justin Townsend, who developed the concept, explains only those who face their traumatic memories can process them.
What she could end up re-experiencing is feelings of shame, feelings of disgust, feelings of contamination, feelings of fear, and all the myriad of different negative emotions that go along with the kinds of traumas that she's been through. So these psychedelic experiences allow for the release of all these repressed emotions, and with that, Beth will feel a lot better on the other side of it, and much more able to develop new, healthier behaviors and ways of navigating the world.
We'll return to Beth again later when she receives the highest dose. But first, we change location. We have an appointment with Frederick Barrett at the renowned Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. He runs the Center for Psychedelics, and for years, he has been working intensively on the question of whether mushrooms can help against trauma. His answer, yes, at least in some cases.
In the midst of this wildly altered state of consciousness, oftentimes in therapeutic studies, patients will have some personal insight, some insight about their history, their past, the way they see themselves or the way they see their place in the world, or something like this that will essentially seem to become the catalyst for a change in the way that they see themselves going forward.
There is now significant scientific research to support this hypothesis.
In basic animal models where we're able to dissect out brains and look at the changes that are occurring on a neuronal level, there is some evidence to suggest that psychedelics are changing the ways that neurons interact with each other. One of our best guesses right now is that psilocybin may be rewiring certain connections in the brain. It's not known conclusively in humans yet, and it's suggested by basic animal studies.
Back to Jamaica.
Okay.
Beth's last session. Maximum dose, 12 grams. Eye mask and music help block out any external influences. The next morning, we ask Beth about her experience.
It's almost like on a computer where you get the black screen of death,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and you do Control-Alt-Delete, and it's just something that's going to emerge from all of it.
Right.
And I've always been a very positive person, and I want to stay positive. I want to hold on to the positiveness.
For Beth and many others like her, this form of therapy seems to be working. So far, Americans have had to come to Jamaica, where such treatments are legal. However, that could change in the next few years.
We're going to see more movement on the national federal level, with the FDA approving both MDMA for treating PTSD as well as psilocybin. It's interesting to see what's happening on a state-by-state level. So we know that Oregon recently has legalized psilocybin. Colorado is not far behind. We're seeing many other states consider either research or new legislation. So it's all moving forward.
3 months after being with her in Jamaica, we speak to Beth again via video chat. We reach her at her home in Alaska. We wanted to know, how is she doing today? Tears of joy.
Talking about how I feel and knowing where I was before was just so, I was angry, I was miserable, I was reactive to everything and everyone. I was hateful. And now I kind of feel like I'm myself again.
As a thank you, Beth gave Justin her rosary as a farewell gift. The beads had always helped to distract her from her dark thoughts. Now, she doesn't need them anymore. Mushroom therapy is not a panacea. For some, though, it can certainly help them work through past traumatic experiences.